The Russia-Ukraine conflict has reached a new and dangerous phase. What began as a geopolitical standoff has now evolved into a full-scale hybrid war fought with missiles, drones, cyber attacks, and deep strategies. But how did we get here? The origins of this war trace back to Ukraine's growing inclination towards the West. For years, Russia has expressed concern over Ukraine's potential NATO membership. NATO, seen by Moscow as a direct threat to its borders, was expanding eastward, closer to Russian territory. Ukraine's tilt towards Europe and the West became unacceptable for Putin's Kremlin. Russia, fearing military encirclement, launched its military operation in February 2022, calling it a special military operation to protect Russian-speaking regions and counter NATO's growing influence. But what's shocking is the level of Western involvement, military and otherwise. The United States, the UK, France, Germany, and Italy have been supplying Ukraine with weapons, intelligence, financial aid, and training. But why? The reason isn't just support for democracy, it's economics. A powerful defense lobby exists in the West. Defense contractors that thrive on war. From Raytheon to Lockheed Martin, these companies see Ukraine as a perfect battlefield to test and sell new weapons. Ukraine becomes the pawn, the battlefield becomes the showroom, and then came the most stunning attack: Ukraine's drone assault deep inside Russian territory. In a recent operation, drones were hidden inside transport trucks that managed to get close to a key Russian airbase. The trucks were parked right near the perimeter. When the time came, the drones were launched from inside the trucks, catching the Russian defense systems off guard. Dozens of long-range strategic bombers like the Tu-95 and Tu-160 were either destroyed or heavily damaged. Over 40 aircraft were affected in this one operation. It was not a random attack, it was a precise, intelligence-backed assault, clearly guided by Western advisors and satellite coordination. Ukraine simply doesn't have that level of capability on its own. This level of precision could not have happened without help. Western nations, especially the United States, have provided Ukraine with real-time satellite data, encrypted communication channels, and strategic planning assistance. Ukraine's army may be the face of the operation, but the brain behind it appears to be a coalition of Western powers. And what's the motive? For the West, Ukraine is not just a country in conflict, it's a proxy front against Russia. It's a controlled environment where they can drain Russia's resources, test weaponry, gather data, and send a global message. But Ukraine is paying the price in lives, in infrastructure, in sovereignty. Volodymyr Zelensky, once a comedian, now leads a nation at war. But many critics now call him a puppet, a man celebrated in Western media. He is praised more abroad than at home. He rallies international support, but at what cost? By aligning blindly with NATO, Ukraine has alienated its powerful neighbor Russia, one of its largest trade partners and closest cultural relatives. The Ukrainian people suffer, while the Western war machine profits. The sad truth: Ukraine is being used. Once this war ends, and it will, Western nations will likely build airbases, radar stations, and permanent outposts on Ukrainian soil. This is how geopolitics works. Support comes with strings. And in the long run, Ukraine risks becoming a permanent military buffer zone, a modern-day battlefield between NATO and Russia. And all of this could have been avoided. Russia never wanted NATO at its doorstep. That's why the war began. Instead of diplomacy, both sides escalated. Now, drones, missiles, and propaganda fill the air. So, who truly benefits? The defense contractors selling billions in arms, the intelligence agencies running deep operations, and the media houses profiting from the war narrative. It's the perfect business model of chaos. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian people are left fighting, fleeing, or dying. Their land is reduced to rubble, their economy shattered, their future uncertain. And all because the West wanted a forward post, and Ukraine, in its naivety, believed it was fighting for freedom. But freedom doesn't come with strings attached. And sovereignty doesn't come from foreign weapons. It's time to question the narrative. It's time to ask, who is really winning? Thanks.